between my two children, they have about 6 toys. And so I wanted to get on here and share that with you, but why? Well, the other day I was in a big name brand store and walking past the toy aisle, and there was this couple and they were shopping for toys, and they had some sort of list, and the woman was so intense. She was like, "We have to get this toy. Look at this. I was on YouTube the other day and everybody has this toy for their child. We have to get it." And that just made me think, wow, that's how people are living now? Like, you see these people who are most of the time faking it, but you see these people on YouTube and on Instagram, and it's like so-and-so's second, third birthday, biggest bash, thousands of toys. And they're all these like child influencers, supposedly making learning videos that are marketing toys to your children. And I'm like, wow, people are actually following this. You look at that and it makes you think, let me get that for your child. And I know it's not like stupidity, but it's like this, it's that subconscious advertising that's going on that some people don't even realize they're putting out. So I thought, no, guys, that's not how everyone is. Everyone doesn't have that stuff for their kids. And I know I'm one of them. I know my sister, I don't even know if they have toys in that house. But I'm going to show you the 6 toys that they have. Then real quick, first let me tell you why I don't have a bunch of toys for them real quick. Then I'll show you the toys, and then I'll tell you how we navigate a toyless lifestyle. So there's a few reasons that I don't keep a lot of toys for them. Number 1 is behind everything, there's a cost. There's a cost to everything, right? This is how I try to think of, like, live my life and think about this. Like, you might see a toy that is cheap or whatever, or that's not cheap and want to get it for your child, but you have to think, what is the real cost of that toy? There's actually people making that toy. And if you're a fan of documentaries and real information like I am, you can just go and look and you can see what's behind these cheap toys is people who are getting paid nothing or very little at all and not able to live. Some people are like, oh yeah, it supports their economy in these third world nations and in China. But it's like, no, it doesn't support anyone. It gives them maybe the bare minimums. And for what? So your child can play with a toy for 2 weeks and then throw it out? Second reason, which is related, is just the environment. A lot of these toys are made of plastic and other materials that will never, think about this, never leave this earth. So you've just bought an unnecessary toy for your child to play with for a year or 2, and it will remain on this planet until the day this planet explodes. It's just like, what? The cheap comes out really expensive, doesn't it? When you think about it that way. And the third thing is that I don't like this culture of want. I have to have this. It annoys me so much. And occasionally my kids say, I want this or I want that, because they see it on TV and they see other children acting like that, and I have to promptly correct them because it's just so annoying. And then it creates these adults who just want everything. That's our Americanized culture. We want a bigger house. We want a better car. We want. And then you find out, oh, all those things didn't bring you happiness and joy at all. So I don't want to raise my kids believing that things are going to bring them happiness and joy. And sure, you can say, oh, well, you can raise them to believe that and still give them tons of toys, but that's not really true, because basically everyone in our culture wants for things that they don't need, to the point that you will put yourself in financial strain and stress and work yourself to death until you're on your deathbed. And like, wow, I didn't need all those things. Wow, I have tons of regrets because I was seeking all these material things. So they really have to live a lifestyle where they truly understand that those things are not going to bring them joy. And then those are my basic reasons. Now, other people have other reasons. Like my sister, she doesn't like to spend money, and she doesn't like stuff in her house, so she doesn't have a lot of toys. Let me show you the toys that they have. So two of them are right here. Let's see. Actually, a couple of them are right here. So they each have one of these dolls. And then this is not a toy, but this is the reason why I don't get like the little doll toy, because they can just use that. They use these as combs. So that's toy number 1. Toy number 2 is actually this stuff, which, as you can see, they used for many purposes. But this is toy number 2, which is this kitchen set from IKEA, which they use a lot mostly when other people are here. And they've had this toy for maybe like 2 years now or something like this. Okay, books. That's toy number 2. Toy number 3 is this Doc McStuffins set. And I think a couple other things came with this, but they're gone now. They use this a lot, especially when they're playing with each other, with their cousins. Toy number 4. These are bean bags that I made them for Christmas, and there's a couple more. They don't use these a lot with each other, but again, they use them a lot when their cousins come over and they throw them at each other and stuff. Toy number 5 are these Magnetile building blocks, which there also were more of these that got lost in our move. And I actually had wooden building blocks, which were so much more environmentally friendly. And one of my really good friends made them for PUA when she was a baby. And they recently, I can't just misplaced them while we were moving. And I really hope that no one threw them away, but I'm I just cannot find them. But that's what they had before I got them, these Magnetiles. Oh, and then, so that's what was that, toy number 5? So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And then here's toy number 6 are these, sorry, their heads are off because they're drying, but they're these little fake wannabe My Little Pony things. And I just got these toys and I really didn't need them, but they use them in the bath, which is why they're drying. They each have 2 of them, so they each have a big and a little one. And that's only because they came as a set all together. Otherwise, I would have just gotten 1 per child. But they use them in the bath, and they use them to do their hair and take around. And yeah, that's it. So I guess for the kitchen, obviously it's a set, so technically it's got a couple of things that go with it. It's got, look, it lights up and stuff. It's got these little tools. And you could also have bought all the fruit and veggies, and you can buy a bunch of stuff to go with this. But me personally, what I do is I just take fruit and stuff and put it there for them to use, and they pretend play with it. And most of the time what they actually do is they combine different toys, all 6 of their toys, and they play with them together. So they'll take the Magnetiles and they'll pretend the Magnetiles are food. And they have a real measuring cup, and they use that as the little pots and pans and things like that. That's it. I mean, that was the tour of their toys. And they will play with these toys for hours. So let me tell you now, how we do it. I guess people ask a lot of questions when they're oh, you only have a few toys? And they're well, how do they play? Well, they play with these toys here. But then they also just play using their imaginations. It's a beautiful thing. They play with everything, with real things in the house. They'll take a shoe and pretend it's a rocket ship. They like to take boxes that I have and just color on them and do tons of stuff with them. I don't know. You know how children's imaginations are when they actually have to use their imagination, and when a toy just, they don't have to, a toy doesn't substitute for their imagination, if that makes sense. But they do play with other toys. They go over to their cousin's house, and their cousins have toys, so then they're able to use them. Now, they kind of have the same toys. My sister has Magnetiles. What else do they have? Or I'm really thinking hard because I can't think of other toys that they have. I think that might be it. Magnetiles. They used to have some other little toys too. But whatever. So they play when they're there. They also play with toys when they go to daycare during the day. So why would I buy a bunch of toys when they can play with other dolls at daycare? And then we have our public library system here is great. So they have toys that you can actually check out from the library, and they're mostly like educational toys. So they're like little musical instruments and just like development and growth toys. They also have little e-readers, like type iPad things that you can check out from there, which I never do, but they have them. Our libraries also in this area, or well, in the next county over, have something called Storyville, which is just like a place where they can go and play with everything. It's like a pretend house and a pretend community. So there's dress up that they can do there. There are puppets that they can use there. There's a huge play kitchen, like the size of probably this entire room that I'm in. And there's an upstairs, like a playhouse where they can play with dolls and like wash clothes and everything like that. Like, can you imagine if I were to go out and buy all that stuff that is literally down the street where I can just take my kids and they can just play there? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then when I'm at the YMCA, if they're with me while I'm working out, they go to Stay and Play, which has a ton of different toys. Also at their daycare, they have like a swing set, maybe I don't think they have a trampoline, but whatever. I'm sure there's some public trampoline they can use around here. So yeah, that's what they do to play. We also focus on experiences, and this kind of goes to the like part where like, well, what do you give your kids, and what do I ask of other people to give my kids? Some people do give my kids toys, and when they do, I let them use it, and then we donate them, because like if I kept 10 toys times 2 kids per year, that would be 20 kids. In 5 years, we'd just have hundreds of toys. And then in 10 years, we'd have hundreds of toys. Literally, a lot of people have hundreds of toys. And it has nothing to do with how much money you have. You can have like no money. And because toys are just so cheap these days, your house can be filled with hundreds of toys that are just completely unnecessary. And just like it takes away from the experience, in my opinion, of a real childhood. When kids can just go outside and play. And kids can play with other kids, and they can learn to share toys that they have. So I like to say, if you want to reduce the amount of toys that your kids have or that you're giving other people's kids, you can focus on things like experiences, taking them bowling, taking them to a place, taking them to a museum. You can do other things like giving them passes to something, like give them a movie pass, give them a family membership, or donate a family membership to a museum or to some type of garden or something like that. There's a bunch of different family friendly, environmentally friendly, ethical friendly things that you can give to kids so that they will learn to value the right things in life, so they'll be able to like experience joy without having things. So if you're interested in a longer list of what those things are, you can check out my Instagram page. Whether or not you have Instagram, you can go to instagram.com/Akiba Mays. And I know a lot of you are way too woke to have an Instagram, so you don't stay on that. But you don't have to have an Instagram to check out my posts. You can just go online. And I haven't been on there in a while because I've been detoxing from everything in life. However, I did just post just a list of non-toy gifts and things that you can give or do with your children or grandchildren or friends' kids. So that's all I wanted to say. I wish I could say let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, but I can't. So yeah, head on over to Instagram and you can leave your comments there. All right.